those jobs are going to disappear. The jobs that AI will do is the jobs that accountants actually don't want to do. If you don't do well and you don't build connections and you don't have any local experience, you're probably not going to get a job, full stop. Hi, I'm Chris Akroyd. I am the head of accounting here at the University of Waikato, so I deal with both the Tauranga and the Hamilton campuses. And we have an amazing accounting program here. Our students get really good jobs. And we have two different accounting degrees. We have the professional body degree and the accounting degree, where the accounting degree you can double major. But the professional body one gives you the possibility of becoming a provisional member of Chartered Accountants Australia New Zealand or CPA Australia directly after graduation.
So that's the undergraduate degree differences of
Yes, those are the undergraduate degrees. We also have the Master Professional Accounting. So if you have a degree in a different area, you can come to Waikato and you can do our Master Professional Accounting, which is a 1-year, 12-month course. You can start in either November or February for the Master Professional Accounting.
Many of them have other different business backgrounds or arts or non-related backgrounds. And so how realistic for them to grasp and learn everything for the accounting within a year? How does the university ensure they can get ready for jobs and after that 1 year?
So we have a lot of support mechanisms to assist these students, and so we have Chartered Accountants Australia New Zealand come on board. We have industry. You're doing exactly what an undergraduate would do, except you're doing it instead of over a longer period. You're doing it really all condensed, really focused, whereas an undergraduate degree would have a lot of other things you have to do. We've just taken the things that Chartered Accountancy really needs you to have and puts that into a degree program. So you're right, it's not easy. It's a lot of study. I recommend for international students not to work while you're doing this degree because you really need to focus on your studies. But the outcomes for these students are very good because we have a shortage of accountants in New Zealand.
What are the recommendations for those type of students, and do you recommend them to, before they come into the degree, the master, and to learn some basics or to have some basic idea, and while they study, should they really dive into the study or should they start to take some, voluntary or roles to practice?
Yeah, I think the voluntary roles is really good. I think that would be the main way of getting experience in New Zealand. A lot of clubs, societies, even church organizations, not-for-profits, need people who know some accounting. So once you've done the first semester, then you probably will have all of the basics that you can go into an organization and do. And so maybe volunteering 5 hours a week will really help you solidify that skill and give you practice of what you've been doing in the classroom. And it's just building networks, building networks in New Zealand. But the two things that New Zealand employers really look for is that you have the degree and that you have some local experience. So doing volunteer work gives you that local experience, and your degree, Master Professional Accounting, will give you the entry to become a chartered accountant, and that's what they're really looking for.
How is the job market you mentioned? We're still short of accountants, but at the same time we're seeing so many people being studying this, and lots of international students in the past study accounting, but some of them say, it's really hard and too tough to get a job. So it's a matter of actually how well they studied or how practical?
It's kind of where the jobs are. I think a lot of times the jobs aren't in the big cities where students are studying and thinking about. A lot of them are
supply in the big cities.
Yes, there's probably more demand in the rural cities, in the rural areas, and the areas that are growing. So Hamilton and Tauranga are growth places, so there is more opportunities than in Auckland, for example, which is not growing. Canterbury is the other growth area. I mean, the Canterbury economy is growing because of dairy and agriculture. And so you'll see the agricultural areas, there's probably more demand. And so as an international student coming to do the Master Professional Accounting, don't look at the big accounting firms. They don't hire the MPA students, because they're all geared up to hire undergrads. So you have to do an internship with them in your second year. and then they will decide if they want to hire you in your third year. But you don't have that option in MPA because it's a one-year degree.
Yes.
So you don't fit into their systems. And so I find that some of those international students will go work in industry like Fonterra or another big corporate, and then later on in their career there's the possibility of moving into a Big Four.
Yeah.
So I have seen that pathway, but I don't see many international students getting Big Four jobs from the MPA degree.
So they're more often to get a job from a small accounting firm or as an accounting company first, right?
Yeah, small accounting firms or industry.
Yeah. Well, for the both undergraduate and the postgraduate accounting graduates, so, what if you give a percentage of the employment rates, what would you say?
Undergraduate, if you do the chartered accountancy pathway, I would say that at the moment half of our students would get Big Four offers. So that would be half of the class. The other half of the undergraduates would look for medium-sized companies like BDO or Grant Thornton, or maybe more local firms, or they might even go abroad. A lot of our students go to Australia because there's even a bigger shortage in Australia.
So most of them get jobs after graduating. Wouldn't be, well, of course, if they studied and passed and did well.
Yes, you got to do well. Yeah. I mean, if you don't do well and you don't build connections and you don't have any local experience, you're probably not going to get a job. Full stop, because those are the minimum requirements. Yeah. So get some experience. I really emphasize that to my international students. I was an international student in Japan, so I did my MBA in Japan, and I got local experience while I was doing that, and I got job offers coming out of that degree because I had actually built my network. So don't come to New Zealand and think this degree will get me a job. No. You've got to put in the work to build your network, build connections, go meet people. Don't go to the Big Four events, because I tell my international students that's not the people who are going to hire you. Spend more of your time going out to the smaller local firms, or do charities, do volunteer work at charities, clubs and places, and you're probably going to meet accountants there who might be working in smaller firms and get to know you, and that's where you get your job connections from.
So the last question is about AI, and how is this AI whole development going to change the accounting? Whether, because people worry the accountant will be the first role to be replaced by the AI. But at the same time, I asked some of the accountants myself. They said, no, it's a very complex work. AI can do a little bit here and there, but they can't replace the person behind it. So what would you say? Do you worry in a few years AI will actually completely change the accounting industry?
It will change what accountants do, definitely. But I think it'll change for the better. And so what a lot of people don't realize is that the jobs that AI will do is the jobs that accountants actually don't want to do.
Oh, yeah. The numbers, looking at
the basic stuff, that accountants really do spend a lot of time on at the moment. They don't actually want to do that. They want to be out in front of clients explaining how this impacts their business. So the more data that accountants have to use, the better they will be able to explain the potentials for their clients. So AI will just add to that possibility of clients needing more accountants to actually explain what's happening. The biggest danger is going to be at that really basic entry-level position. The data entry and the initial analysis, those jobs are going to disappear. And so that's why we have to change as educators. We have to prepare you for a different kind of job, which will be your first job, not the jobs that you would have had before. But the potential, we have the sustainability standards in New Zealand now. And so because we have sustainability standards, we need accountants inside organizations. So I have quite a few of my former students who are actually in that space at the big banks or the corporates, and they're hiring a lot of our students to come and support them to collect the data that they need to do the climate risk reports, which the XRB has put in place.
So that's not traditionally like an accountant jobs, no. But they recruit accounting students, right?
Yes, because it's data. So it may be greenhouse gas emission data, but it's still data, and accountants are really good. And so don't think that accounting is about just financial numbers anymore. We teach you as much about the non-financial as the financial, because a lot of the growth, and we have this growth because of Chartered Accountants Australia, New Zealand, and CPA Australia.
Yeah. I guess people worry like the university teaching you yesterday's skill, but then won't prepare you for the tomorrow's jobs. But I think the reality actually is that university is really teaching you cutting edge
Yes.
technologies and knowledge and skills, right?
We're connected. We're connected to industry like you wouldn't believe.
Yes.
And we are following and we are introducing things. You know, we offer sustainability. We even do things like indigenous accounting because the Maori and organizations and iwis, they need accountants. And so we've been working on that, and they take a very different view of what we value. You know, they have very long-term plans, 100 years, more than 100 years. And so how do you do accounting for intergenerational, value to create those kind of purposes that we have? And so that opens up a whole bunch of new opportunities for accountants. And so I think don't just look at what accountants are losing to AI, think about what accountants are gaining. And so the professional bodies are very good at that. The professional bodies have spent a lot of time and energy to create all these new opportunities. So as we do lose things to AI, we gain more in other places, which I think is great.
Thank you. All right,
You're
thank you,
welcome.
Chris. Yeah.